Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 23 of What If Naruto Awakened, the Rinne-Tenseigan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything over on Anime King 2, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last time we left off, we start out with a flashback of when Minato and Kushina first came back, as Minato could tell that something was wrong, and how did their son revive them from the dead? As Naruto showed them his past, the both of them were saddened by that, but still, they wouldn't want anything bad happening to Konoha. But the more they talk, it was strange, it was the more they agreed with him, the more he talked, as Kushina went over and hugged him, as he hugged her back, as she felt a jolt in her heart. Seeing her son in this position, and not to mention those that did this to him, he was neglected. Jiraiya wasn't there, even though he was named as Naruto Godfather. Hiruzen, he left Naruto in the orphanage. He let those damn elders and the council get too much power, and they treated their son like crap. Minato was trying to fight against this feeling that he was feeling, but Konoha was really getting hated by the man for some strange reason. Minato, who was the fourth Hokage that loved this village, now started to despise the village that treated his son so horribly. We then dive into another flashback of when the people of Kira was not back, as Mei Terumi was badly injured along with Ayo, as they were weakened, as Yagura had swept down on them with his forces, including himself had shown up, and the man had destroyed a large number of their forces. But it did not matter what happened, they were gonna die fighting. But luckily enough, they did not die. It was then that Naruto came in, along with two other people. It was Minato wearing a half mask, and Kushina was there as well. As the group was surprised, they asked who they were, if they were reinforcements. Yagura came inside as he burst open the wall. He was deflected by a gravity force on Naruto as he was sent sailing. As the council members that remained looked towards Naruto for this child to come in here and save their life like this. And from there on, something strange happened. The more he saved them, the more he helped, the more the people start to see him as a hero, and to be the one to lead them, despite Naruto not being from Kiri. It was weird. And not to mention, whenever he left the village, they could not remember who he was. It was like something was happening to their mind. Yes, they could part of them remember that there was someone that saved them, and when they saw Void, that was Minato under disguise. He simply told them that the one they can't fully remember needs to keep his identity secret for now. With that, we skip back to the present time, as the Raikage was confused. What the hell was going on? The land of Wolf, where they got iron from to meet their katanas, was gone. It wasn't like the place was destroyed, it was just gone. Nothing remained. For a full-on battle went on there. There would have been broken down houses or something, but nothing remained. The land of bears, as the man was on his knees, begging not to be killed, his daughter especially, as his family was being whole. As suddenly Naruto stepped inside the room, another minor nation that has been conquered. As the man bowed his head, he would follow the rules as long as they did not kill his people or his family. As Kiri was taking over little by little, yet no one knew of the involvement of Kiri in all of this. As Kurosaki went to her grandfather, making sure that he wouldn't do something stupid. He was a Kage and he was smart, but when it comes towards Minato, the man had this seated hatred, and she was hoping that he did not push anything over the limit. We also found out that Naruto had a baby sister, Katsumi. After years of not being together, seeing that they were dead, coming back, Kushina and Minato got really busy really quickly. And in their time away, after all, they have been revived the entire time. While Naruto was at Konoha, they had a child together. Of course, Naruto knew about it. His little baby sister, Katsumi, who was sleeping peacefully when you hold on to her, as Minato wasn't really good at this part of the thing. Seeing that he wasn't there to raise his son, it was strange. But he would make up for all of that he had promised. He would make sure that all who hurt his son would pay for it, and not to mention, he would make sure this world is pure of all violence and crime. Him and his son had the same vision. To make sure his baby Katsumi grew up in a peaceful world. The next morning, as Naruto got Sasuke, who was packed and ready, as they were going after Itachi. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So this is begin this new episode. What do you mean gone? Said Snavi. As he looked towards Jiraiya. I mean, gone, he said. How is that even possible? What about the houses, the buildings? There is absolutely nothing. As Jiraiya sat down in the couch, the Kage Tower had been quickly rebuilt with the use of Yamato, as it was needed after all. Right now, Jiraiya was just discussing the many things that he found out. Things that were changing the entire elemental nation. Snavi could not understand what he meant by gone completely. The land of Wolf. Their obsidian metal was great for fashioning katanas, mostly used by Kumo ninjas after all. Almost all of them were trained in Kenjutsu. So she didn't understand how could the place just be wiped out. From what I know, they weren't in any scuffle with anyone, she said. That is not all, said Jiraiya. 3 minor nations, the land of bears, land of hot water, and the land of mountain, has all closed their border, as they had denied traffic from anyone else. They closed their border fully for 1 week. They are just reopening. Things look calm, but I went in their disguise to see how the place was going on and what exactly, if I could spot anything changing. It was strange. There was just feeling about the place. It felt wrong, said Jiraiya. No one knew exactly what was going on. I tried to get some information, but I got nothing. Zip. Do you know what is coming in all those places? Snap in mind, run through possibilities. The location, she said. Exactly, said Jiraiya. All of them are close to the land of water. And recently, Kiri has been making movements. Ninjas had been seen moving around quickly through the land of water. So you think Kiri is doing this, said Snavi. It's strange though. For so long, Kiri has been shut down. Their borders have been closed, and now they're just opening back up. And the other nation borders went closed for 1 week, and now they're opening back up. I don't know why, but I feel like Naruto is involved. What? Said Snavi. Why would he? I just can't put my finger on it. We haven't been able to locate him anywhere. What if he's been in Kiri this entire time? What if he's running things there? Preposterous, said Snavi. Despite everything, Kiri is one of the major nations. They would never let him run the entire village. You're thinking way out of the box, she said. Too far. Yeah, I know, said Jiraiya. But I think he's involved in this somehow. Because I'm telling you, Minato and Kushina are not the same. Despite their grudges and their anger, they will never destroy Konoha in their rage. Naruto did something to them if he actually brought them back to life, if that was a real them. But I have a feeling that it is, said Jiraiya. But he did something with those eyes of his. We do not know the full extent of his power. Yeah. But it doesn't matter now, said Snavi. He's already said that he was going to destroy Konoha no matter what. And I won't let that happen. So when it comes down to it, we're going to have to kill him, she said. Yeah, I know, said Jiraiya. As they already made up their mind about that, Naruto has to be put down for the betterment of the village. Because if he did not die, everyone else would die. Meanwhile, out in the eastern coast, 2 people were trudging through a field. The place was barren. As they were making their way, this is what they usually did after all. They had enough time. The both of them were in black cloaks, red clothes on them. The 2 Akatsuki members. So, aren't we gonna talk about your brother? As Itachi said nothing, running around with this Naruto Uzumaki that was supposed to be dead 3 years ago. They had just had a meeting after they finished sealing another tail beast. Naruto Uzumaki was not dead. In fact, he was alive. He faked his death somehow. And he was helping destroy Konoha along with Sasuke Uchiha. And apparently, Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. That was shocking. The Hokage destroying the village. Not many people knew about the relationship between Minato and Kushina, but it was circulating that the both of them were a couple, and they were Naruto's mother and father. Everyone was shocked by that. The Akatsuki had to tell the members Nagato had spread it through them. And he told Itachi to be careful because his brother seemed vengeful. And he was sure grudges like that don't die out so quickly. And also to be aware of the 9-tailed Jinchuriki. At the moment, they don't have a specific handle on where he is. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Rain, as Nagato was sitting down, things were spiraling out of control that he couldn't foresee. Madara was acting strange. He was keeping to himself, his visits becoming less and less, like he knew something that Nagato did not. Nagato hated being kept in the dark, as he wanted to know. Something was happening that he did not know about. Suddenly, Konan came down to the room. "Are you okay?" she asked as she saw a look on his face. All those years ago, a void. It has been Minato all along. But why? Why would he come here? And how does he know so much about me? Said Nagato. "I don't know," she said. "Neither do I. I have never interacted with that man before. So it is strange for him to know that much about me. And my eyes and my ability, not to mention the Jinchuriki, having the same set of eyes with something different. I have not seen them myself, so I can't tell if it is a Rinnegan or a different form. I have no idea what is going on. I'm at a loss," said Nagato. Even Konan was surprised. Usually, Nagato had planned and prepared for everything, but still, all of them were confused. "We will find a way out of this. And like many others, he will fall," she said. "And we will take the 9 tails from him. Don't lose faith now." "Of course not," he said. "The plans still go on. We're doing this for world peace, and no one can stop that. It doesn't matter who or what they are." Meanwhile, back with Itachi and Kisame, and apparently, he has the same eyes as a leader. Samehata did tell me that all those years ago when we met that punk kid, there was something strange about him. Remember, Itachi, when he was able to calm down your brother rather easily, he had even whacked him across the face and told him, if you cannot defeat him, he cannot defeat you. And your brother got really calm. "Yes," said Itachi. Kisame was surprised that Itachi spoke. Usually, he would stay calm. "Something on your mind?" "This Naruto Uzumaki. He's up to something." "Well, yeah," Kisame said. Itachi did not say anything after that. He had saw it all those years ago. Sasuke was downright furious and was about to attack him, but Naruto told him to calm down, and he did so easily. He didn't know what was going on. He didn't know what his brother was caught up in at the moment. And despite everything, Itachi still loved Konoha, and he didn't want it to be destroyed, and he didn't want Akatsuki to complete their goals. So, in that, he was gonna kill Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, that was the only way he saw it. Sami had to tingle a bit, as both of them separated as a massive thunder strike destroyed the entire ground. Kisame pulled Samehata as he slammed it in the ground. Stopping his momentum, Samehata was flaring madly. The surge of power it felt. Samehata was hungrily searching for that contents of power. Itachi on the other hand looked up. "See? I told you they were fast enough to dodge that," said Naruto. "These Akatsuki members, they surely are something." As Naruto landed on the ground, followed by Sasuke, the both of them hopping from the opposite end of the clearing, the trees all around. "Well, now this won't do," said Naruto, as his foot started to levitate off the ground, before he raised his hands to the sky. Almighty. Itachi and Kisame rid themselves. Push! But nothing slammed into them. The gravitational force, it appeared behind them and decimated all trees in the area. It was so great the entire area shook. It was torn, it was ripped. Tree bark splintered everywhere. A catastrophical destruction. "Much better," said Naruto as he lowered himself to the ground. "You know, you two are hard to find out here in this wilderness, but this is good. No one around for miles. So you decided to come to us instead, huh, kid? Said Kisame. That I did. You remember that battle all those years ago between me and you? But your friend, Jiraiya, jumped in, stopping us from getting you back then. What do you say we restart that? Said Kisame with a smirk. Yes, that will have to happen, said Naruto, seeing that there cannot be an interruption between these two. Itachi was not looking at Sasuke, instead he was looking at Naruto with a calculating eye. Oh, I won't be your opponent. He will. Brother. As Itachi turned his head, hey, why don't you come with me, said Naruto, as he leaped off. You handle the bro, Itachi. I'll take care of him. Itachi said nothing as Kisame leaped off, with a smile on his face. Air rustled through the area. Sasuke, what are you doing with him? Sasuke was surprised at the question and phrase. What? After all these years, that is the first thing you have to say to me? I know what you did. I know why you did what you did. Naruto told me everything. A mission given to you by the elders of Konoha. The corrupted village used you to wipe out your entire clan. And you let it happen. Itachi was surprised. He was downright speechless. How did Naruto know that? So I went there and I killed Danzo Shinmura. And Naruto took care of the other elders. But it isn't going to stop there. All of them will die. Itachi narrowed his eyes at Sasuke. Are these your thoughts? Or are these his? Of course they're my thoughts. For turning you into a cold-blooded murderer, I will make sure I plumage that village into hell. But not just it. I will make sure no one else is used as you, brother. Once you're dead, you will be the last. Because I'm gonna kill you. Itachi narrowed his eyes, his Sharingan activated. He scanned over Sasuke, he did not see any genjutsu. You told me back then I wasn't strong enough. And I knew I wasn't, but now, I've gotten a lot stronger. And I'm gonna take you down. Are you sure that is what you want? What? Of course, after what you did. But you just said, I was being used by the village elders. So why do you still insist on killing me? Asked Itachi. Itachi wanted to be free by letting Sasuke kill him in the past because he wanted Sasuke to be seen as a hero that decimated a clan murderer. But now, Sasuke was no longer with Konoha and he aimed to destroy it. I don't think you're in control of your actions, little brother. What? Of course I am. Are you sure? Or is this the will of Naruto being passed upon you? I am not under any illusion or that crap. So don't try to mess with my mind. You will die here, Itachi. And nothing you will say will change that. Not yet. What? I can't afford to be killed yet, little brother. There's something I have to do. Sasuke snarled as he pulled his blade. Enough talk as he shot forward. Itachi's eyes widened. He knew that his brother had gotten stronger, but the speed that Sasuke approached him with, it was immense. Kunais flicked from Itachi's sleeve, but Sasuke sliced right through them and impaled Itachi through the chest. Sasuke pulled his blade up as he snarled. This won't work. The world started to crack. Boom! It exploded as Itachi dropped to one knee. His Mangita Sharingan activated. Itachi then saw them. We now have the same eyes, brother. But unlike you, mine are perfect. How? Said Itachi. Strength is not the only thing Naruto gave me. And with everything he taught me, I'm going to use it to put you in the ground. Sasuke came at Itachi once again, this time for real. Blade clashed against kunai. Despite his eye bleeding, Itachi got to his feet. The man was not perturbed by a simple eye bleed. Sparks went everywhere as Itachi spun. He twirled past Sasuke's blade and came in. Sasuke sliced. He literally sliced the area where Itachi's blade was about to appear and tear right through it. Itachi was surprised at the strength, the density. He then saw it fully. The wind chakra humming through the blade, mixed with a sharp tip of lightning that tore his kunai in half. Sasuke lashed out with a brutal kick, but Itachi jumped over it. He grabbed Sasuke by the back of his shirt and flipped him as the both of their eyes connected. Sasuke flicked his wrist as kunais appeared as he threw them towards Itachi rather close. Itachi twists in mid-air, literally turning his body as the kunais pass him. He grabbed one of them before it could go too far though and launched at Sasuke, who deflected to the side. Both brothers speed through hand sign as a massive inferno came from their mouth. They started to clash violently as Itachi's eyes started to bleed. Amaterasu, he said, as black flames consumed the fire as it swallowed Sasuke whole. But with Itachi's eyes, he could see exactly what it swallowed. It swallowed a kunai. The real Sasuke reappeared behind Itachi, blade coming out as Itachi spin and blocked it with his own kunai. As once again Sasuke's sword ripped right through it. Itachi moved back as Sasuke's sword sliced into his shoulder, drawing blood as Itachi flipped back as he landed on his feet as he was already hyperventilating, blood streaming down his face. While Sasuke looked fine. You're not looking so good, brother, Sasuke said. Well, I never wanted it to be easy. You deserve to feel pain for what you did. A part of Sasuke's mind was direct on making Itachi suffer. The part that was trying to see reason why Itachi did this was gone for some reason, as he didn't believe that Itachi deserved any retribution. He deserved to feel pain for slaughtering everyone he cared about, leaving him as an orphan, while he gallivanted around the world doing as he pleased, making him suffer at Konoha by himself until Naruto found him and trained him and freed him. And yet he wanted him to believe that Naruto was controlling him. Naruto was his friend. He would never do something like that. Naruto was his friend. And despite everything, he was the only friend he got out of everyone. Other people, they might see him as acquaintances, but Naruto was his friend. The closest thing he had to family. And Itachi was just someone who slaughtered and took everything away from him, who deserved to die. Nothing more, nothing less. As Sasuke shot forward, as Itachi watched him came towards him, he didn't know why. There wasn't a genjutsu or illusion around his brother, but he felt like Naruto had done something to him. He didn't know what Naruto was up to. He couldn't allow him to destroy Konoha. He couldn't allow him to trick his brother like this. And Sasuke did not belong on that side. Sasuke was supposed to be the one to kill him and be known as a hero. But he didn't know after everything that if he could get back into Konoha. But from the reports, Sasuke didn't do much to the village. It was Naruto. Sasuke was just with him by proxy. Perhaps there was still a way of solving this. But he couldn't afford to hold back because he couldn't let Sasuke kill him. Sasuke has gotten stronger, so much stronger. And he was planning on holding back as well. Because despite Sasuke's growth in power, Itachi was still the most experienced between them. And a skilled fighter. The man had become Anvu when he was just a kid after all. Slaughtered his clan while he was in his teens. He was no pushover, that is why. He would have to knock Sasuke out and kill Naruto. That is the only way he saw of redeeming himself right now. Because just dying would not solve the problem, despite his sickness. He couldn't afford to die yet, as his eyes start to pulse. The red in them start to get more pristine, crimson, as he shifted into a stance. As Sasuke met him, bam, they collided. Meanwhile, so tell me, Minato, is he really your father? Yes, said Naruto. So why would the Hokage try to destroy his village? Is that the real Minato, or is it just a fake? It's a real Minato, said Naruto. So why would he destroy his village though? Perhaps it's because he saw how they treated his son. Well, I know that Jinchurikis get mistreated because of their status and all. Konoha probably put you through hell, right, when you were younger. That and more, said Naruto. So now your father is back to get revenge. But despite that, isn't he a Hokage? Well, he was. Shouldn't he be the one of reason, tell you to forgive them on all that crap? I guess he's angry at them, said Naruto. It's not easy to forgive after all. Yeah, said Kisame. I knew that far too well. He then cracked his knuckles as he moved Samehata around in his hand. Well, it's time I take you in. And time we finish this little battle of ours. Those eyes of yours look quite intriguing. Why don't you show me what they can do? Well, why don't you come and find out, said Naruto. As with that, Kisame shot forward. The man's speed breaking the ground as he ran. He launched himself like a bullet as he came dropping down towards Naruto with Samihata. As Naruto moved, bam, Samihata decimate the entire ground. Kisame launched himself up in the air the moment Naruto jumped up as well. A brutal right kick coming towards Naruto's face. Naruto brought his hand up and blocked it. As he felt the weight of the man kick, Kisame smirked as he brought Samihata down. With tremendous force, Samihata was basically dancing as it slammed right into Naruto. Naruto was thrown as he smashed into the ground. As Kisame spiraled out of the sky, boom! The entire ground was destroyed once again, as the impact had shattered right where Naruto was. Kisame blinked as he turned, as a vicious kick slammed into the side of his temple, rattling him for a moment as he was picked off his feet. He was thrown as he crashed on the ground. Kisame got up rather quickly as he tossed Samihata towards the incoming Naruto. The scales of Samihata exploded out of the bandage as he tried to tear Naruto to shred into his skin. As Naruto raised his hand before lowering it, Samihata's gravity seemed to be off balance as the thing turned before slamming down into the ground. The thing wiggled and moved around, but he could not get out of the hole. As Kisame appeared beside Naruto's left shoulder, his feet coming down as he was up mid-air. Naruto grabbed the leg and tossed him away. Kisame went through hand sign while he was flying. He released several powerful balls of water from his mouth that tore through the earth. As Naruto leaped away from the position, Kisame reached over and picked up Samihata. "Well, kid, you're kind of good." "Well, I guess that's enough for the warm-up," he said, as he slammed Samihata down before going through hand sign. As he spewed out a jet stream out of his mouth that swallowed the entire area. As Naruto jumped high up in the air before he landed on rushing water. As he steadied, he stood calm on it. Kisame was nowhere to be seen. As Naruto's eyes looked down, Kisame burst out with Samihata in tow ready to shear Naruto's shoulder right off. Naruto's eyes pulsed as Kisame was forced back down into the water with tremendous speed. He smashed into the earth. He groaned in pain as Naruto burst through the crevice of the water, diving down like a bomb. His fist smashed into Kisame's stomach as bubbles exploded out of the man's throat. Kisame's eyes steeled though as he spun and slammed the heel into Naruto's stomach, launching him out of the water. As Naruto flipped and landed right on top of the water, looking down at Kisame, who went through hand sign, several massive sharks were created as they launched themselves towards Naruto. One by one as they came, they exploded, literally being blown out of existence. Naruto did not even raise a hand. Kisame exploded out of the water over to the other side as he was riding a massive wave, several sharks coming down as they impacted on Naruto. Meanwhile, as Itachi was panting, Sasuke was standing there, few scratches here and there over him, but he was also exhausted as well. Using the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, it took a lot. His abilities, they caused a lot of chakra, but he was not gonna let that put him down. He had lost his blade in the battle. The place was destroyed. The ground had rooted up. No trees were around, as the landscape had changed from the both of them, duking it out. Itachi had blood smearing down his face. Akatsuki robe was torn, as he was now black undershirt. Sasuke's black shirt that he was wearing, the Uchiha crest on the back, had several cuts over it. Cuts from kunais and shurikens. As Itachi slowly pulled himself back up into a fighting shape, as he coughed, blood spurting out of his mouth. Sasuke's eyes narrowed on him, but he did not say anything, as Itachi went through hand sign before spewing out a large dragon from his mouth, made up entirely of fire. Sasuke shot forward as he went through hand sign of his own before he leaped. Sasuke then twisted his body into mid-air as electricity formed on his entire head, going down to his toes. Sasuke burst right through the fire dragon, tearing it to pieces with electricity flowing off of him. As he shot towards Itachi, Sasuke swung his fist. Itachi ducked right underneath as he lashed out with a powerful kick. Sasuke slapped it down as he brought up a roundhouse kick. Itachi slapped it away as he swept right under Sasuke's leg. He brought his foot up to knee Sasuke right in the stomach, but Sasuke flipped around him, going through hand sign as he raised his hand to the sky. His fingertips got electrified as he dropped it on Itachi's shoulder. Itachi winced before he leaped away. As blood started to run down his shoulder, his body spasmed as Sasuke's nails had slashed him. The electricity coursed into his veins. Sasuke didn't give him time to rest as he leaped forward. Bam! Bam! 3 vicious hooks to Itachi's face. He was launched backwards. Itachi stand his guard though. He did not fall. Despite the blood leaking from his mouth and the exhaustion on his face. Go down, Sasuke said. I can't, said Itachi as he panted hard. Sasuke had enough. As he went through hand sign, he spewed fire up in the air, a large quantity. As Itachi stood there, trying to regain some of his strength, the place started to darken. I'll force you down to your knees, said Sasuke, for you to realize that I'm finally stronger than you. Sasuke had something within his arsenal that he could use to decimate the entire area, but he wanted Itachi to bow down to his knees. He wanted Itachi to see that he was stronger, that he is the one that's gonna prevail in this fight. Itachi also had his trump card up his sleeve. Sasuke had one as well. As the sky started darkening, meanwhile, Naruto looked up in the sky as Kisame was over to the side, as his clothing had been shredded, leaving him only blue pants and sandals. There was a few scratches on Naruto, but nothing too well defined. Your fight is with me, brat. What's going on over there is not our concern at the moment. Sorry, but my mind is preoccupied, said Naruto, with certain things. Things that I can't afford to go AWOL at the moment. That is why my mind is not really in this fight. You're a strong fighter, Kisame. Someone who's dangerous and powerful. Why don't you come work for me, said Naruto. I assure you, it's better than the Akatsuki. Better goals, better dreams. Sorry, already have a day job, said Kisame. Well, would you like a night one, said Naruto. Kisame laughed at that. Funny. I like my victims funny before I slaughter them, he said. Well, I'm afraid that's not gonna happen today, said Naruto. You see, it's time we wrap this up. I have better things to do. I was thinking the exact same thing, said Kisame as his cheeks bulged before he spewed out a stream of water that swallowed the area, even larger than the first one. The water then started to mold. As it molded, it sucked Naruto inside as he was traveling inside of a ball of water. Sasuke looked over toward the side. He saw the massive thing in the sky, hovering there. But that wasn't the thing he should focus on right now. Meanwhile, Naruto kept his mouth shut, his eyes open in the water dome. Suddenly, something shot past him so quickly, he moved. It nearly tore his arm off. Kisame had fused with Samehata as he looked up on Naruto with his eyes gleaming. Now you're mine. He shot forward as Naruto redirected his blow to the side before Kisame turned and shot forward once again. Kisame slammed right into Naruto, only for him to realize his head slammed into something, but it wasn't Naruto. It was ribs. White ribs. Bones. Kisame slammed into them head first and they did not crack. Kisame brought his tail around as he smashed it on it, but it did not crack as Naruto's eyes were gleaming with unbridled power. Enough! Kisame was launched before a hand grabbed him. The hand grabbed Kisame's shoulders before grabbing his tail. It then started to yank the two skeleton arms, ripping Kisame apart. Kisame moved around as he wilded around. Several sharks came as they slammed into the bones, forced him to release Kisame as he came out of it. Kisame then brought his hands up. His shark-like arms, he shot them forward. Two geysers of water slammed right into the premise of Naruto's shield. It made Naruto stagger deeper into the water as Kisame dived towards him, repeatedly bashing on the bones. But no matter what he did, he was not breaking it, as Naruto's eyes just kept on pulsing. To add insult to injury, Naruto turned his head, looking over where the sky was getting even darker. Kisame lost it as the water started to bubble. A humongous shark, large, almost large as the thing that they were in, was created as Kisame pumped chakra into the thing. The thing dived down, the speed unnatural as it slammed into Naruto. His body was thrown. The thing slammed into him again and slammed into him again. Kisame then noticed something. A smile. A smile crept up on Naruto's face. Before his eyes snapped up, the water shark exploded. As Naruto was there, his breath still whole, but he then started to laugh. Air getting in his lungs, he still laughed. He was laughing despite being in water, as he was no longer holding his breath. Kisame now recollected from the beginning. He had his mouth shut, but he was not holding his breath. Could he breathe underwater like him? Well, you've made it more exciting, said Naruto. I guess I could have a little bit of fun before I go. As Naruto swam, Kisame was shocked by the speed. He thought he was the fastest thing underwater, but he was not gonna let that down strike him as their fists connected. Bam! Once again, bam! The water premise shook. As Naruto brought his leg up and slammed it on Kisame's shoulder. Kisame staggered back. As Naruto moved forward, bam, bam, bam! Blood exploded out of Kisame's mouth. Fists smashing into his sternum. As Naruto grabbed his face and slammed Kisame's face into his heel. Kisame's tail shot forward as it grazed Naruto's arm. Naruto grabbed it and twisted Kisame before launching him down in the deepest part of the water. As the bubbles started to follow Kisame, Kisame shook his head out of it. The moment he blinked, a fist connected in his face. Several of his teeth burst. As his body was thrown, his head rattled. Samihata kept on pumping chakra to heal the injuries. Bam! Naruto's knee connected with his skull, shattering his nose. Naruto grabbed the man by the eye sockets. Kisame screamed and wailed as Naruto's fingers dig into his eye sockets. As Naruto lifted Kisame's body up while he was in water, he then brought his body down as he slammed his knee into Kisame's chest. Kisame staggered back as his eyes were bleeding profusely. Samihata was sending chakra all over Kisame's body until snap! Naruto launched his knee right in Kisame's throat. The man's head curled back, the force snapping something. Kisame could feel a light drifting away from his eyes. The water started to bubble around him as Naruto had a smile on his face before it started to falter. Told you, fun would be me going overboard, he said. As Samihata pumped chakra towards the dangerous wounds to not make Kisame die. The sword was working overtime. All of a sudden, Kisame's hand snapped out towards Naruto's chest, who grabbed it. As he turned Kisame's arm over, he snapped the wrist, forcing Kisame back. As a hand landed on Kisame's shoulder, Kisame couldn't even move, as Naruto had reappeared behind him with speed that he couldn't comprehend. As Naruto grabbed onto Kisame tight, his fingertips digging into Kisame's flesh. As Naruto placed his hand at Kisame's back where his heart was supposed to be, right at there, as he felt almighty push. Kisame's entire body rattled as his heart was blown out of his chest. As Naruto held on to him tight so he did not move away, as his heart was literally blown out of the front of his chest. A second later, his body started to flop down towards the end of his water bubble. The thing exploded. Naruto did not fall, he stood there in mid-air, looking down as Samihata separated from Kisame. The sword started to screech around as it just lost its master. As Naruto landed, Samihata snarled at him in rage. As Naruto raised his hand, red chains shot from his palm. They tied around Samihata tight, restraining the sword. It tried to move but it could not. As Naruto removed his jacket, before pressing a seal on his chest, poof, there was a scroll. He then sealed Samihata inside and placed the scroll in his chest as he picked up Kisame's dead body with one hand, before looking over the man. As Naruto turned towards the side, the air in front of him started to shift. As Naruto looked up as he saw a massive lightning dragon over to the side that came shooting down from the sky. But he threw Kisame's body inside of the warping hole that sucked it away, and Kisame's body was gone. His heart still remained in there, as it was no longer moving. Meanwhile, you finally decided to take me serious, haven't you? Said Sasuke. As Sasuke had seen better days as he looked exhausted, but he still was not done yet. Down below him, Itachi was covered by a red skeleton. Well, you're not the only one, brother, said Sasuke, as his own Susanoo started to form. Itachi looked up. He should have expected his brother to unlock this. Itachi, His vision was blurry. He didn't know if he would last much longer. It's either he knocked out Sasuke and get some rest, and tried to find a way to kill Naruto, or try to kill him with the Susanoo as well. But that was seeming like a less and less chance, as Sasuke's Susanoo flared. But suddenly Sasuke dropped to one knee. Sasuke was many things, powerful, fast, quick, but when it comes towards chakra, he had a lot, but not enough to throw around techniques like he just did. And he's been throwing around techniques from the beginning. Very powerful techniques that change the entire landscape. So his Susanoo did not become perfect. Instead it formed the upper half, matching Itachi's. As Sasuke marched forward with his Susanoo, Itachi did as well. The massive battle of giants then ensued. Moments later, Naruto was sitting down as he was watching the chaos in front of him. The two tanks slammed into each other over and over. The both of them creating massive attacks with your armored giant. The era was blown, it was torn as debris was sent sailing past Naruto. Catastrophic destruction. The ground beside Naruto then shifted as Zetsu came out of the ground. He looked around. "What the hell is going on?" he said. "Family bonding," said Naruto. "You were told to wait," said Zetsu. "We still needed them." "Where's Kisame?" As Zetsu looked around. "I have absolutely no idea." "Naruto," said Zetsu. "What?" said Naruto. "What's going on? Are you derailing against the plan?" "And what would make you say that?" said Naruto. "You've been avoiding me lately, and you're doing things like this and not informing anyone. We still needed the both of them, and yet the battle has gone so far. I'm not even sure if Itachi would stand up after this." "Well, let's just see about that," said Naruto. Zetsu looked at Naruto with a snarl, but you couldn't really tell because his black face just remained, imposing as ever. While White Zetsu said nothing, he decided to keep quiet for now, something that was rather rare for White Zetsu to keep quiet. Down below, as both of them had lost their massive construction, looking quite weakened, like the wind would just blow them over. As they start to hit each other with taijutsu, their movement slow. The both of them collapsed on the ground after a massive fist to the face, knocking each of them down. It was a great show how powerful Itachi was, able to stand up to Sasuke like this. But this was a great improvement on Sasuke's part. A few years ago, he wouldn't even be able to show a candle towards Itachi. But Sasuke had been too arrogant. After all, if he had brought out his Susanoo from the beginning, if he had fought to kill from the beginning instead of making Itachi go down to his knees, he would have probably won. So, by doing so, he gave Itachi the advantage to wear him down, and now he was low on chakra, incredibly so. That is why as he fall down to his back, he struggled to get back up, but his body was just not listening to him. Itachi, on the other hand, has been through a lot since his sickness. He has been feeling constant headache, constant weakness. So his mindset was determined, and he didn't want his brother to suffer. He didn't want his brother to feel pain after he was gone. He was trying to do the right thing, so he forced himself back up. Sasuke brought his foot up and kicked Itachi right in the face, knocking him down. Sasuke staggered up to his feet, as Sasuke's entire body felt like it was on fire. He tried to move his arms, but they were barely listening to him. His legs barely moved as Itachi struggled to get back up. Suddenly, Sasuke fell as he was caught by Naruto, who had delivered a swift chop to the back of his neck, knocking him out. Sasuke could not even tell that Naruto was the one that knocked him out, as his mind and body was too weak to react to anything. Itachi, on the other hand, coughed up a lot of blood. "Whoa, not looking so good," said Naruto. "What do you want?" said Itachi. He could barely talk. "What do you want with my brother?" "Oh, nothing much. Just his undying loyalty." I knew something was up with you from the beginning. You're going after the village. But not just that, you want something more. You're always smart, Itachi. Very, very smart. But I'm afraid not even you can tell what I'm planning to do. But don't worry. It's not like you'll be alive to do anything about it, or to actually care. You'll be off in the pure world, where you can finally rest, where your soul might be cleansed of all the bad things that you have done. It's time that you rest, Itachi. Why did you knock him out? Itachi asks. Because I wanted to talk to you. And I'm sure that you want to talk to me as well. Ask me a few questions. Itachi narrowed his eyes. How grateful of you, he said. Well, I'm kind of a grateful person, said Naruto. So what is it, Itachi? Have any final request that you want to ask? Leave my brother alone. Oh, I'm afraid your brother is far too deep in this, said Naruto. He doesn't even know it yet. You're manipulating him, Itachi said. Not exactly, and no. I'm not manipulating anyone. He just come to realize that I'm right. Everyone will do after a while. Your eyes. They grant you some sort of ability. To do something like that. What is it, Itachi said? What? He coughed up more blood as he collapsed, face first. His face struggled to look up. As Naruto's gleaming eyes looked down at him. Naruto kneeled down. As he looked and whispered something in Itachi's ear. Itachi's eyes went wide. Before his sickness, his weakened state caught up to him. As he dropped dead, whatever Naruto said to him, Itachi would be the only one that knew. Because he was now gone from this world. Finally gone. Naruto picked up his body. Another wormhole opened as he threw the body inside. Before he looked at Sasuke. You underestimate him. I was trying to knock that out of you, Sasuke. Just because you're strong, you should fight. Like you're giving it your all. But yet you did not. Well, I guess that's the difference between me and you. I have the power to back it up, said Naruto. But don't worry. You're still useful. You are very, very useful. After all, I need you for my plan. Zetsu then came out of the ground a moment later, coming towards his position. What did you do with the body? Nothing important, said Naruto. Zetsu snarled. Enough of your bullshit, Naruto. What the hell's going on? He asks. Have you forgotten who you're talking to? Said Naruto. I've had enough, Zetsu said. This whole you're in charge crap. If you're in charge, you should be telling me what the hell is going on. And where are we in the plan, but you have not. You've been going around for years doing your things now. And I've not been involved. So tell me what the hell is going on. You just killed 2 members of the Akatsuki. Well, you haven't seen me kill anyone, said Naruto. Itachi just died and I don't know where Kisame is. So fix your statement, said Naruto. Zetsu snarled even more. Are you going against the plan? Are you doing something of your own free will? Going against his will? Oh, ensure me. I still want to see this world purified. You know I wouldn't do something like that, Zetsu. After all, Madara was the one that gave me hope. That gave me a world where I could have everything. But your parents, you brought them back. You got the 4th Hokage from the Shinigami. How? How were you able to retrieve his soul? I was wondering when you were going to ask me about that. All this time it was him, said Zetsu. Posing as void. You knew all this time and you didn't tell me. Just what the hell are you up to? That's my business. Look, it won't interfere with the plan. I just brought them back to see how they would react and act in these times of war. And why are they against Konoha? They should be against you. Despite everything, you're still fellow Konoha Shinobi. And he was a Hokage for Christ's sake. So tell me, what have you done? What are you hiding? You are not the one in charge here. We're all going under one. Shut up, said Naruto. As he turned towards Zetsu. You know, the ground cracked. You're really starting to annoy me. I told you I'm still with a plan. Question me again and I'll kill you, said Naruto. As his eyes pulsated towards Zetsu. Zetsu could feel the ground underneath him. The ground started to die, yes. The plants, everything on the earth, it started to die. The ground started to crumble up away. Zetsu had to move back. As Naruto's anger fled away so quickly, as a small smile returned back to his face. Sorry about that. You were just getting on my nerves a bit. But I assure you, Zetsu, I'm still going according to the plan. Well, if that is that, I'll be off for now. He picked up Sasuke and jumped away. Zetsu stood there as he watched him leave. Zetsu's eyes moved towards White Zetsu was attached to him. White Zetsu was frozen. Not in a afraid sense, he was literally frozen. Somehow Naruto had reorganized the molecules in his body, the plant substance, and turned him into a dead tree. Zetsu felt it, that power he felt a moment ago. He knew that Naruto was strong, but he couldn't measure Naruto's power. He felt emptiness. It was weird. Zetsu could tell how strong Nagato was. With his eyes, Nagato was always showing his dominance over things. But with Naruto, it was just so quick. But Zetsu felt it. This raw, untapped source. It was confusing. Zetsu glanced around. He went underground as he appeared a few feet away, where the trees was, a distance away from the battlefield. All the trees were taller. It seems that Naruto had tapped into nature itself and changed nature. Considering that White Zetsu was now frozen, he was unresponsive. He was just dead weight now. As Zetsu could tell that Naruto was up to something. He had been wanting to speak about Minato and Kushina from the moment he heard about them, but he had no idea where Naruto was actually located. He had no idea where Naruto go. As he just realized something, he knew nothing about Naruto's actual abilities. Through all of this, Naruto has been keeping everything a secret. He knew who Void was, and he planned all of this, and yet, here he was wiping out two other members of the Akatsuki. Zetsu did not trust him before, but now he knew that Naruto was diverting from the plan. He will have to tell Obito about this. They will have to find a way to stop him just in case. Because he was sure that Naruto had his own plan. With his mother and father here, why would he ever want to go into the infinite Tsukiyomi? That made absolutely no sense. He was up to something. He was making his own plan. Zetsu had to find a way to get rid of him just in case. Because it doesn't matter what happened, his mother will come back. Yes, Kaguya Osusuke will rise. But guys, let me end this episode right here. If you want to see next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was Neglected and Lost Everything over on Anime King 2, and enjoy that guys. And stay tuned for a new episode coming over Anime King 3, which I hope you guys enjoy. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.